Yo, what up? Welcome to Redzone podcast. I am Deuce, and before we go any further, we want to give our thoughts to the victims, their families, everyone in Kansas City, Kansas City Chiefs players, all the Kansas City Chiefs fans, all of those that we engage with every day on Twitter. We send our thoughts and prayers out to those communities. What happened is very tragic. And for it to happen on the day of celebration or any day to that fact um, is very discouraging to us as a human race, more so than anything else. So our thoughts and prayers is definitely with them right now as they mourn and try to rebuild their community back. It's not about sports. It's not about fandom. It's about life. And for someone to have their life taken on yesterday, which also had children, which makes it even worse. So now those kids have to grow up and become adults without their mother, which is the nurture of that family. We send out thoughts and prayers to all of them. Today, we got a crossover show. We got Young Heavy. He's going to be in the building. He's going to talk with us about our recently hired coaches, Darryl Tapp and Anthony Lynn. He's going to give us a little background on them two and the impact that they had with the 49ers. And yeah, I'm gonna ask him what happened in the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna ask Young Heavy what happened in the Super Bowl, of course. And then on the other side, owning the huddle, we are going to switch over to owning the huddle after we talk to Young Heavy, and we're gonna talk about our new coaches. We're gonna recap the press conferences today. We're gonna talk about how all these coaches line up, and people saying we got 4 or 5 quarterback coaches. We're gonna try to break it down and kind of separate the duties from what we've heard from all of the press conferences from Dan Quinn and from Whitt and Kingsbury on today. So on the other side of this, we're gonna have one of the hosts of Sports After Doc, Young Heavy.
Shout out Redzone Lab Podcast.
Hey, what up, y'all? It's Benjamin St. Jude, DB for the Washington Commanders. I want to give a big shout out to Redzone and the Lab Podcast.
Welcome back. This is Redzone and the Lab Podcast. I am Deuce. And joining us today, I got DT with me. He's going to hang out with me until we switch over to the Owning the Huddle podcast. We got co-host of Sports After Dog, Young Heavy. What's good, man?
What's going on, brother? Thank you for the invite. I always tell people I don't take it for granted when people ask me to come on their show just to talk ball. I appreciate it.
Definitely appreciate that. Hey, look, this is the trifecta, right? I got Clue. I call him Clue because I understood what the magnifying glass. Like I understood that. No one else did. I understood that. I call him Clue, not Ceelo. I understood that. I had Ashley, and now I have Young Heavy. We have the trifecta of sports after Doc. Well, first of all, man, I want to say congratulations. You know what I'm saying? Recently engaged. Congratulations. And I'm gonna throw this out there, man. Man, Ashley kind of went viral. So we have this little Twitter connection thing. So I think I should get first dibs at the interview of how all this came together in the future. Just gonna throw it out there. I should have dibs. I should have first dibs. So I'm gonna just throw that out there. But yeah, man, congratulations on that, man. Definitely.
I appreciate that. When that, we can set it up. We can have you definitely get dibs on that. That's a fact. That's a fact. Cause that interview y'all had definitely had people in the uproar. For sure it did.
Oh,
but
man.
It's a blessing to be a part of this, bro. So I once again I'm grateful.
Most definitely,
for the opportunity.
Man. Appreciate you. All right, man. So before we get into Tapp and Lynn, like The Super Bowl, man. It was so much throughout the season. Brock Purdy, Brock Purdy, Brock Purdy. I tell you one thing, Mister Irrelevant became relevant really, really fast. I tell you that. But what happened in the Super Bowl, man?
It was a lot, man. It was a lot to uncover in that game. Dre Greenlaw going down, I think that changed a lot in the team's mentality once he tore his Achilles. Like a lot of people was hurt after that. Our right guard going down, that changed a lot with what Spags did in the second half. And all in all, they made the plays. They took advantage of the opportunities when they had them, and we didn't. That made the difference. You know what I mean? When we had the muff punt, they scored on that. We had a interception off Mahomes. We ain't score off that. You know what I'm saying? So it was like in situational football, they were far better. And what annoys me even more is when I'm listening to all the mic'd up stuff, and it's like, come on, man. Y'all should have known better. If Trent Williams is telling y'all, y'all should think about the quarterback keeper on fourth down. If he an offensive player and he know that might be coming, why y'all ain't know that was coming? And Mahomes runs for like 20 yards. It just was. It was a lot going on. I didn't like Kyle's play calling in certain situations, like I said, that third down near the red zone where Brock Purdy got. I think Chris Jones got through within like 2 seconds, and Brock Purdy couldn't even get the pass off, and Ayuk was open. But I think but Kyle should have known better. We lost a right guard, and the right side of our line's been bad all year. Why would you go empty near the red zone on third down? I would condense it in, or just give it to CMC like you normally do in those moments. And then Steve Wilkes, man, like that last drive in overtime. Why would you blitz Mahomes the whole drive?
Yeah.
You ain't even try to disguise you was blitzing. He knew you was blitzing.
Yeah. And
he made you pay for it all the way down the end zone. So all in all, you got some Niner fans making excuses like it was the refs and blaming that person. I think it was a collective effort. You could blame everybody. And all in all, you know what I mean? They show why they're back-to-back champs, and they played like that at the end of the day.
Yeah, and DT mentioned something on Enters the Lab podcast earlier about like 6-3 when you're looking at those two quarterbacks and how Brock kind of showed up. He kind of showed up. He showed a different side. He was complete. He had complete composure. He was not shooken. He was not overjoyed. None of that. Like when they scored, he was the same person, and that speaks a lot. And he walked down the field. He went toe to toe when he scored. They scored. The only thing he couldn't do was like you say, he put up 3. Mahomes put up 6. But that's why Mahomes is Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? But to me, Brock Purdy is right there. I just hope that he continues to build from this to move forward, because what we saw from Jalen Hurts in the championship game last year, we was like, oh man, this guy's about to take a whole nother leap. And then the regression came. He didn't look like Super Bowl Hurts during this season. So that's something to look forward to for Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing to see what Brock do in his second year in the league. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people try to ignore that, like, oh, Brock should have did this and Brock should have did that. So y'all got to keep in mind, this is his second year in the NFL. And I'm with you on the poise part. And I kind of seen that from Brock last year. When we played the Cowboys in the divisional round, the Cowboys was sending a lot of pressure at Brock, and he didn't flinch. When I seen that, I said, all right, we can go to war with him.
Yeah.
The moment is not too big for him. The other quarterback we had, he used to flinch a lot. Happy Feet. He was either going to take a sack or throw a pick. You know what I mean? The other quarterback, I ain't going to say his name, but this guy right here is like, all right, Brock, we know if it get tough, we know you're not going to flinch. Like you said, you're still going to be the same person. So I'm excited too. Brock last year, he had to come back and worry about rehab, hurry up and trying to get back and play. This year, he can work on stuff to advance his game mentally and physically, work on his arm strength. Like he said, he was going to work on his mobility. So I'm definitely excited to see what Brock look like year 3 going into our system.
Most definitely. And, as we go through the all season, Heavy, we definitely going to reach out. If you could come back to actually just give you more time to talk about the 49ers and the all season plans and the draft and all of those things. But right now we want to talk about the Commanders.
Y'all making some moves, man. Y'all cooking. Y'all cooking.
Yeah. I love it, man. I love it, man. Of course, like we talked to plenty of people about Adam Peters, so we know who he is. We know what he brings. But Darryl Tapp, which is Virginia Tech, right? DT, he went to Virginia Tech,
Yep.
right? Yep,
Tech,
Virginia Tech. Yep, he went to high school in Virginia, so he's a DMV kid. He even played here a couple years, had a good career. He was always on the smaller side, so you could tell he got that fight in him because he was a smaller D tackle in college and coming into the league. But just kind of just give us some background when he first came to the team, the type of impact that he has with the players, especially the younger players.
First and foremost, I'm sick that Adam Peters is gone. I wish we could have kept him. I was saying for the last 2 years that we need to elevate John Lynch to president of football operations and keep Adam Peters as our GM. To go there first. But Darryl Tapp, the defensive line is going to love him. He's very energetic. He brings the best out of that line and the competition. Y'all will see it when training camp rolls around. He's going to bring the best out of those guys because he learned from, honestly, I feel like the best defensive line coach in the league, which we have, is Kliff Kingsbury. So Darryl Tapp is going to have them dudes playing with their hair on fire on the D-line. He's going to expect a lot out of them, and he's going to bring the best out of them every single day. And the players are going to love him for that. He's going to be a fan favorite and a player favorite definitely over there in Washington.
What you got for Tapp, DT?
Yeah, so that's kind of been the thing, with Washington. Kind of kept up with us during the offseason stuff. So our defensive line, as talented as they were the past couple of years, they really didn't mesh as well as we wanted to, especially with Chase Young and Montez Sweat being traded for some high picks. So him coming over here, and you were saying that, he's this player guy, he's very energetic. And me personally, that's type of style we kind of need. We need someone to bring some energy. You think he can fix this bond in this defensive line room? Because I think that's what's truly been missing in Washington.
Absolutely. I think he'll have them guys tight knit and close together and playing as a unison. Because when on the defensive line, y'all got to play as a unit. You know what I'm saying? Like that rush, but them four got to play as a unit on every down. You know what I'm saying? And that camaraderie and that continuity, he's going to make sure that they understand, like, it start with y'all four, and it got to end with y'all four, and y'all got to play for each other in the mix of that. So that is going to start there, and the foundation will be built year after year. And like I said, y'all having Adam Peters, he's going to bring in those type of guys that'll fit what Darryl Tapp wants them to do. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to lie. I'm excited to see what he do with y'all because he can definitely bring a lot out of the players that y'all got. You know what I mean? Especially y'all got some dogs over there, and he's going to use them to try to implement them as the examples to get everybody else to be dogs. So I'm excited.
For sure. What's up, Wayne? Carlton in the building. What's up, Shots? Commish, Art, South. Now South is also on the team, and we got this thing where he's the film father. We saying, if you ain't got 5,000 hours of film, you can't talk ball in spaces.
Hey, that's a lot of film time, brother. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I always tell I ain't a film savant for sure. That's one area.
Man, look, the stuff you hear in spaces and stuff, bro, you just be like,
hey, it make it seem like they don't even watch football, bro.
Right. They just be talking, man.
They just be talking. I'll just be like, all right, bro, you got it. You right.
What's up, Chuck? Chuck, shout out heavy.
What's going on, Chuck, man?
What's up, Unc? Yeah, so like when it comes to Darryl Tapp and his development, especially with the young guys, and I think he was assistant D-line coach, so he probably wasn't as involved in any implementation of the defense during the week. But has he ever talked about aspirations to be a D coordinator, to be more? Is there anything that you ever heard from him or his camp?
No, he just was, embracing the role that he was in, and he made the most out of it every day. Like I said, I was watching training camp and watching practice and get them going through reps and watch how he made the defensive line compete against each other. And he brought the best out of them every single day. It was like everything that Kliff Kingsbury was giving him is like he took it and ran with it, and he took the best out of it. So that's why when y'all took him as a defensive line coach, I wasn't surprised. He's ready for this moment.
Ready.
He's ready for it because he's been doing it every single day. It's like he just embraced his role and took advantage of it. And now here we are. Y'all gonna see, man. Y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna love him, man. Y'all gonna see. Like, I'm excited. I'm excited,
man. I'll be at OTAs. I'll be at training camp. So I definitely got to go. I usually go a lot, man. So definitely got to go a lot because we got new people there. So I gotta get this roller.
He gonna have them getting it in. You gonna be like, oh, yeah.
And that's something. And remember, DT, when Sapp, when Sapp was at our. He came a few weeks last year, and he always was trying to teach them about like being together and playing as one. Because Chase and like they was paying, they was all trying to get their own. A lot of times they started playing out of sync. They started, looking at those single stats to try to get that, especially Payne. But yeah, that's something that we definitely need. All right, Anthony Lynn, same thing, man. Like he head coach came over, run game coordinator. He's been there for what, 2 years now?
2 years. He was our running backs coach last year, and then he was our run game coordinator this year.
All right. So did he? Okay. So did he coach running backs this year too?
Yeah, he had a little input in there, but Bobby Turner came back, but he was in a mix with the running backs as well because that's always been Anthony Lynn's
on the Redskin, right?
Yeah,
I forgot about Bobby was still over there. Man.
Yeah, we still got Bobby. You know what I mean? Bobby took a year off, and then he was our running backs coach, and then Bobby came back, and then we moved him over to the run game coordinator.
Yeah,
Anthony Lynn specializes in the run game. You know what I'm saying? like if you look at other teams, I want to say in Buffalo, that 1 year he was in Buffalo for years, or 1 year he was in Buffalo, their run game was pretty good. I believe when he was with the Chargers, their run game was pretty good. That's what he specialized in. I think that's what y'all have to get more into, which is running the ball. Y'all got some talent, especially Robinson. I've always been a fan of Brian Robinson. I think that he should get more touches running the ball and use him in different ways. I think he could be an outside zone type of a running back. You can take him through in between the tackles. Like, he got a lot of talent with him that Anthony Lynn can help unlock with putting him in space and trying to get him the ball in ways that's effective for him. And he's great at what he does with running backs. I think Robinson will benefit the most with Anthony Lynn being on y'all squad.
Yeah, man. Like, and I didn't realize this until like yesterday or day before when I was just looking at Lynn over the years. He started out with Mike, so he's been there. Like he's been in the mix. He understands those zone schemes, and he understands those running concepts in space. He understands the traps. He understands all of the pulls. Like he understands the benefit of it. So when we talk about the running game, like that should have been like a perfect merge between him and Kyle, because he was there before Kyle. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like he was there before Kyle. So how involved was he in the game planning week in and week out?
Oh, every week. The run game coordinator is always a part of the game plan every week, just like the pass game coordinator.
Oh, my bad. Before you finish up, yeah. Trail said can't lie. I would have been sick if Chase got a ring.
Hey man,
Lonnie and Lonnie laughing.
I ain't gonna. I've been pushing. I was excited that we got Chase because I was pushing for Chase Young since the summertime. I'm like, listen, we know Washington going trading. Y'all might as well just swing him to it. Now I hope we bring him back because Nick Bosa made it very clear that he wants Chase Young back. So hopefully we bring him back. We'll figure that out. But I just I'll say personally, like, y'all are about to make a change where they're gonna have to be worrying about Washington. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all coming to compete. I know we've probably been saying that throughout the years, but you could just see with this regime, like, oh, all right, look at the coaches y'all bringing in. Didn't y'all get y'all got somebody else too? Didn't y'all get Ken Norton Jr. or did somebody else get Ken Norton Jr.?
Yeah, we got Ken Norton.
Linebacker.
That was a hell of a pickup too, and I'm like, oh, they not playing. They not playing. Y'all getting a lot of coaches in there that has a lot of experience, that has been successful other places, and y'all got them all under one roof. They always say to start off at the top first, and then you go down bottom. So it's like, I do want to ask y'all a question though, because I asked this to the other commanders. I know we're talking about Darryl, Tapp, and all of that. How confident are y'all going against the NFC East with Dan Quinn as y'all head coach now?
You want to go? You go ahead, DT. I'll follow.
Well, in terms of coaching, I feel like for the longest time, I'm part of the younger fan base, so all I've seen, was the Shanahans, Jay Grudens, and Ron Rivera. So this is by far the best collective amount of coaches I have seen in the staff in a while. So I think we'll get the leg up, but I'm still, I still want to see, the offseason plan, them addressing the trenches, especially O-line and edge rusher, since we traded both of our guys away. And, obviously the number 2 pick right now, quarterback, it's going to depend which one. Caleb Williams, he's from DC, but I think there's 2 other guys that could be in that role play. All 3 of them could fit this Kliff Kingsbury offense. So my confidence level is pretty high, but I still want to, I want to trust the process and see how things go the first year.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted an offensive head coach for sure. I wanted Johnson, Ben Johnson. But the one thing with the defensive head coach I was worried about was the staff and the tree and the branches of the offensive coordinator. Because if he's successful, man, they be gone. And if you don't have nobody that's behind him that's ready, you're gonna be starting all over. So that was the main thing about me. But with Dan Quinn, I think it's more so Dan Quinn, the CEO, and not so much Dan Quinn, the coach. Because like if you can look at all of the coaching hires, and that's what we're going to do once we finish in here, we're going to look at the press conference from the day with Kliff and Joe Whitt, and we're going to look at all the coaches that we've hired. With the staff that he's hired, he hired a lot of high-end coaches, a lot of high-end mind, high-end years of experience as players also, which I also love, and like Super Bowl experience too, played and coached. And I think that's very important, especially when you're. I mean, like we're in the mud, like we're literally in the mud, and they can come and build a foundation. Like they can put the pillars in, like they can literally put the pillars in, and it's just like. And to answer your question right now, Heavy, because we really, I mean, he's only been head coach about 2 weeks, and we look back, 3 things when he lost the Super Bowl. After the Super Bowl, some weeks after, he reached out to Golden State and he reached out to the Indians. Didn't the Indians blow a 3-1 lead in the World Series? Was it the Indians? I don't remember. But he reached out to both of those teams that blew leads and he asked them, how did you get your team back? Like, how did you recover from this? Right? That shows humility to me. And when he got fired, he called all the players and his staff, how could I have got better? And those 2 things are very humbling to me. And it looks like someone that wants to learn and get better. But it's just like opening up a new Walmart store, right? When you first, it'd be the best Walmart in the world for the first 3 months. Why? Because all of the managers and assistant managers from the area all coming to work in that store until they build a staff. So that's kind of like where we are now, man. I just hope it don't end up like the Walmart down there on 8th Street where it closed after like but that's kind of like where I am with and moving forward.
I will say this though, and I think it's pretty obvious. With new ownership here, there's no cloud. There's no somebody leaking over your shoulder trying to control every single move that these coaches, that these front office executives that have dealt for 30 years. And it's such a turn from what I have seen and from this fan base I've seen for a long time. Like grown men coming in, doing what they're supposed to do, and they're hiring the best people for these roles, and they do what they're supposed to do. And I think that's the biggest thing we've seen so far this year, because we actually have adults in the building and they're hiring guys that they feel like can build this team the right way and not try to chase easy wins and stuff.
Yeah,
bro,
I respect
we had
that.
high school coaches coaching our DBs last year, bro.
Are you serious? Wow. I
Bro, like
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
we had like Rivera's son was assistant linebackers coach. Del Rio had a kid coaching somewhere on the defense. Like, cause I never I mean, a lot of us, if you act like I've never really paid attention to a
Right.
lot of the positional coaches, really. But now, not no more. Like, we looking at every single one of them because of how we end up finding out last year, man. It was disgusting. It was disgusting, man.
And y'all trying to get that right. And I respect it. You could tell that y'all trying to start a culture there that, you know what I mean? That's where, that's where it really start. Like you say, for the young guys, they'll be able to see what y'all trying to build, and they'll go off that. And as y'all add more, you're gonna add those type of character guys to fit the mold of what the culture y'all trying to build over there. So it's like, oh yeah, Washington, they coming. They coming for sure. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna be too much more of them trying to slander y'all. I can tell you that. It's coming. I be trying to tell Ashley all the time. I'm like, you keep all right. You see that coaching staff they building over there? All right. Keep sleeping on.
Tell her again.
What's that clip about the kicker? She said that was her biggest thing last year in the playoffs was the kicking. Looked like the kicker did it again this year in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, she
she had
she had about that.
But like Anthony Lynn, before we let you go, man,
yeah,
like how much of an input did he have in that offense with Cal? How did he mesh? And do you think it's going to be easy for him to mesh with like Kliff and helping with installing at least the running game or the running game pretty much?
Well,
like without like we about to go through this now, man. I mean, we got a running game coordinator, passing game coordinator. We got this and that. But how much of an impact did he have there in San Fran?
Kyle always takes, you know what I mean, the opinions of the ones around him, the run game coordinator, pass game coordinator. They help him put input in what we're installing each week, week in and week out. I think what he brings to the table is a lot, especially running the ball, what Kliff wants to do, the outside zone, the inside zone. I think that's something Kliff was doing in Arizona. I want to say that James Conner was pretty successful running the ball.
When
Kliff was there.
He had over 1,200 yards.
Yeah, he was really successful when Kliff was there. And I think what Anthony Lynn is bringing from, Kyle Shanahan. And Chase Edmonds was really good with him too. Mm-hmm. So it's like that input, what he is taking from Kyle and taking over there, it's kind of the same language. So I'm sure that Kliff will be able to be like, all right, you know what I mean? Okay, cool. That will work. That will work, because he's going to be right there front and center to see what he got with Brian Robinson. What's the other running back y'all got?
Antonio Gibson.
Gibson, he's still going to be there too?
Probably not. He's free agent.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't think so. It depends what his number is.
Yeah.
If they want to bring him back, but not only he's a running back, so that's one thing.
Yeah,
and he's had a foot issue ever since his rookie year, so he has that injury.
Yeah, injuries.
And then the higher the volume of touches, the higher the number of fumbles he has too. So
that is true. I think that Brian Robinson should just be y'all starter. I think he's the guy that y'all should roll with, and then y'all get somebody to complement him.
Yeah.
I think that with Anthony Lynn being there, right there with him, because Kliff, he got to worry about everything that's going on. Yeah. Anthony Lynn is just going to be focusing on the running backs for real. So he's going to be able to be in Kliff's area, like, all right, listen, this is the type of what we got. This is what will make him successful. You know what I mean? And go off that. I'm going to be honest with you. If everything goes the way I think it's going to go, Brian Robinson should have a really good year. Really good year. I'm talking 1,200. 1,300
he even showed he could catch the ball
year
this year too, which was very surprising to us.
Yeah,
I think we're definitely going to draft a running back to complement him this upcoming year for sure. And that's the thing. Like, one thing I wanted with the coaching staff this year is coaches that have some type of aspirations. Like, we had Randy Jordan, who's highly respected in the league, but he just want to be a running backs coach. That's all he wants to be, is a running backs coach. And sometimes you can get complacent and stuck, because he's been there through 2 regimes. He's been there 8 years. So, I was okay with letting him go, especially with someone like Anthony Lynn. For sure, man. DT, got anything else for Heavy, man?
This last question I'll have. So with him coming over, How much does Lynn have involvement with the O-line coach? We have a new O-line coach from the Giants, Bobby Johnson. So a lot of people are speculating about that. But with the marriage of trying to get the run and pass to look some of the same in terms of like the play action and some of the RPO game, how much involvement do you think he'll have like he did with San Francisco with y'all O-line coach, with our O-line coach?
I think he'll definitely have a nice amount of involvement in it because with the type of scheme if you run in a zone type of running scheme, you got to be able to show them how the block is supposed to set up for them to run certain things. People would just be thinking in that zone type of scheme, you just running through holes. No, the line has to block certain amount of ways, and then you have to the hole will open up itself, but you got to be patient to find it. So I feel like what he's trying to bring to the running backs. He has to work with the offensive line as well to get them to see that this is a marriage between them two. You know what I mean? If the offensive line is not all flowing the same way in that zone, then the running back can't be like, all right, where's that hole? Where's that hole? Okay, the hole isn't there. It got to be, all right, where's that hole? There it is. Boom, let me hit it. You know what I mean? CMC said it like, all right, that first year when we first got him in the offense, he didn't understand how that zone rushing offense worked because he didn't have that time with the offensive line. Coming into this year, he had that offseason to tie in with the offensive line. So then he understood, okay, this is where the hole is supposed to be. After they do a certain amount of things, this is where the hole's supposed to be. That's where the hole's supposed to be. So he's going to be able to tell him, listen, Brian, you might see that, you might think that hole is open right now, but if you wait a little minute, they're going to hole you're supposed to run through right there.
That's what we need too, man, because their vision is crazy. Oh, shout out to Caitlin Clark, man. She broke the record.
I ain't gonna lie, she might be the greatest women's player we've probably ever seen.
And she broke it with like a 35-footer. That's the crazy part.
She's different. Like
yeah. So all Young Heavy's Twitter, the YouTube, all of his links is all in the descriptions. But Heavy, you like boxing?
Oh yeah, I'm into boxing.
Yeah. Cool. We adding a boxing channel that's going to start up just before the Joshua fight. So we'll throw that promo on, but you can stay around and watch that promo real quick. But if you want to, y'all working on now, you go ahead and shout that out before we get out of here.
It's time for basketball season because football season is officially over. With us, we go straight from football to basketball, and then we throw some baseball in there because we got a lot of people that love baseball.
That's range.
I mean, we kind of diverse. We starting to step into boxing a little more because Clue, as you call him, he's huge in the boxing. In the boxing. Yep. So it's like we're starting to step more, bring that boxing thing aware because we starting to learn more. When he was hosting boxing space, people was like, "Oh, you need to do it more often," because I didn't realize there's a lot of people that really love boxing. So we starting to step into that. Now we just doing sports after dark, after hours on our YouTube channel, and we're trying to figure out our schedule when we're going to do basketball because I think last year we went Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, but a lot of people's schedules has changed with our spaces, so we'll kind of figure that out. As of right now. For you to stay tuned, make sure you follow the Twitter handle is sports_, and make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is Sports After Dark, and you'll find out everything in those two places.
For sure. Definitely appreciate you for coming through. But for Heavy and everyone out there, here is the boxing promo, and then right after that, we're going into Owning the Huddle. We can talk about these coaches. Heavy again. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate y'all, man. Much love to y'all.
We got on spaces that can say I had the whole Sports After Dark crew.
And I'll say real quick, man, you are one of the most genuine people I've ever come across, brother.
I appreciate
you always show love every time we come into your spaces, man. And you got a lot going on, man. And I truly support that, man. And I appreciate the love that you always showed us. Straight
appreciate
up.
That, man. Love.
Hey, what up, you guys? It's your boy DW. Super fired up about some brand new boxing content coming your way. Redzone Roadwork Boxing, hosted by fan favorite Miss Lady E. A bunch of us sharp, opinionated folks are going to get on here and we're going to hash it out with our pound for pound list and favorite knockouts, fights we're looking forward to. Shows will be before the big event, during, live, and post wrap up to see who was right, who was wrong, and who just had a good time, right? Can't wait.
There you go. There you have it. Young Heavy, again, appreciate you for coming through, man. We'll catch up with you. Reach out.
All right, brothers. Much love.
All right, peace, man. Oh man. Welcome to On the Huddle podcast. I am Deuce. We got Ceelo. We got DT in the building. Oh man. There's some good stuff to hear about Tapp and Lynn, man. Like especially Lynn. Okay, so Ceelo is very concerned about Kliff Kingsbury. Ceelo is very concerned about Kliff Kingsbury. He's very concerned. Look, I am concerned. Like so before I talked with Scorpion, I was a little concerned. After I talked to him, I was more concerned, right? But then like Ceelo, all right, so the presser, right? He talked about. He pretty much said, "Look, don't attach air raid to me no more." Like that's pretty much what he said when they was talking about the air raid. He said we have coaches from different areas, different schemes, and we're going to pull them all together, and we're going to have an offense. Joe Whitt mentions Commander's defense, so that's kind of sounding like he's saying it's going to be like a Commander's offense. So that's another thing I like. It seems like as of right now, everyone seems to be on the same page. But again, the honeymoon period when the beautiful water and the white sand and the aura, like everybody is floating and all beautiful and everything looks perfect. But after hearing that part, Ceelo, where you at? Where you at with Kingsbury?
The same. I mean, he I feel like most of these coaches, both him and Joe, they were very, they kept it very generic. Even Joe Whitt was like, "Yeah, we're not gonna run the same thing we ran in Dallas. We didn't run the same thing we ran in Atlanta and Dallas." They try to fit the scheme to the personnel, which I get that. That's all. That's great. But everybody has principles. Everyone does have a base, whatever, defense, offense. My concern with Kliff was just, I went back and watched those Arizona games, and I was just like, I was just like, Kyler Murray is a dog. Like, he's different. This dude was out there running around, making plays, and I know that is not what Kliff was trying to do. So my only question, DT, was like, do you need a Kyler Murray type athlete to make this successful, or can this work, with a lesser athlete, but still capable, quarterback, quick processing, quick arm motion or throwing motion, get the ball out real quick. Can that still work? Because I just feel like the Kyler Murray thing is hard to separate.
Got you. Well, I mean, the snippet we heard today, he kind of described.
Hold up.
What's happening, fellas?
What's up, man?
What's up,
Man,
man?
you don't text nobody no more.
Man, listen.
You've been busy, man.
The
You on them
ghost of
jets.
football pass.
Bro, I done got like 3 hours sleep in the last 2 days, bro. I'm tired, man.
I see Ceelo, Deuce, Ceelo, Deuce, Ceelo, Deuce, me, Ceelo.
Deuce, DTs.
Yeah, hey, where you been at, man?
No messages from Breeze. You know?
Y'all ever met people? You just not like into it. Like you see their phone, they be like, "How do you have 1,000 unread text messages?" I guarantee you that's Breeze. Breeze like, nope. Oh, okay, that's mom's. Let me go check out see what's mom's. I mean,
Oh, 2 phones though. See, look.
I told you. I told you.
I
told you.
That's not 1,000. That's not 1,000.
Close enough.
How you that? That's crazy, man. Like,
I told you.
and that's one of the phones. Ain't sure to us, Joe.
No,
Listen, hey, you just know.
we not here to talk about me right now, man.
Go ahead, TT. There we go.
Save this clip, you know. Oh man, what was I saying? Oh, Kliff basically described the type of quarterback he wants. He needs a guy, that can create a little bit and throw out the pocket and throw in the pocket. So, luckily, the top 3 quarterbacks that we'll talk eventually on this show, all 3 of them can do that. So that's your answer right there. But you are right. Watching that offense, they did have some highs and they definitely have some lows, but how much of that was the magic of Kyler Murray and really, the play calling up Kingsbury. Now Kliff does, he does have some great play calls, but I think, it's all about the evaluation. And the biggest concern for me, man, is when they get stale and then teams catch up to you. Because I don't want what happened this year with EB to happen with Kliff. And me looking at Brian Johnson and Anthony Lynn being added to this coaching staff with their roles, I think them coming together to marry the passing game and the running game and him having full autonomy of the offense, I think it'll be way better than him than just trying to be a CEO of the whole team like he was in Redzone.
Yeah, those are one of the things that he did mention when he was saying how Dan is going to have to deal with all of the entire team, and he's only going to have to focus on the offense. But I do think it's something that, especially with the whole, like, we're going to look at the coaching staff. We're not going to go through the whole press conferences. I think we may do some tomorrow and Saturday. It's supposed to be bad weather up here on Saturday, so but we'll talk with the guys to see if we can run through each word of the press conference. But before the press conference, like the reporters reported that Brian Johnson, even though he's assistant head coach, he's not going to, like, Kliff. This is still Kliff Kingsbury offense. Like, he's going to run the offense. Brian Johnson is going to be more so learning the duties of a head coach. Why do you think they had to kind of make that, like put that out there? Because it wasn't the team that did it, but I'm sure the team did it. You know what I mean? So why do you think they had to put that out there? And they put it out there right after they released the coaches.
Yeah, I saw it earlier when I was at work, and I felt like that was a very weird distinction to make. I don't know like the right way to term it, but it was different though. Like, we see people people are given titles just at this point. They just get thrown titles to just give them a promotion, a raise, whatever the case may be. but I don't think we've ever heard like that specific distinction of, his job is basically to learn how to be a head coach. I don't recall hearing that anywhere. I always thought it was weird, but I mean, I think it's, they see him as two things actually, to me, my opinion. First though was they have the belief that either Brian Johnson or Kliff Kingsbury is very possible to get plucked as a head coach soon. And if it is Kliff, they want to have Brian Johnson, ready to step in and be that next guy up. But just giving them opportunity, and I think that we the writing is on the wall for the opportunities of a certain type of person, and just kind of help develop him and get him more ready, because his name was kind of floating in circles to be an offensive coordinator. Well, he was an offensive coordinator this past season, but to be a head coach, and it went from that to like nothing to being fired. So just try to just better prepare him in the future to help push him forward. And again, if somebody does hire him as a head coach, the Commanders do benefit from that.
And see, look, like it seems like the 49ers way, right? Like you can look at it like they put him in a position where he can only, like, you can only take him away to promote him to head coach, because he's assistant head coach and he's a passing game coordinator. So you can't, like, the next step is like head coach. So if you want to poach him, it's going to be a head coach. And then when you look at the 49ers model about diversity, having someone in that position, you teach and you learn it. If they do go, you get comp picks. Like that's just how the 49ers has been moving on. It's like, I think this year they got like 3 or 4 comp picks and they gave us 1. So how do you think about that dynamic? Because when you look at it on paper, assistant head coach, passing game coordinator would be here, and then offensive coordinator be right under that. But they kind of cleared that up. What was your take on it?
That's a good perspective. I think I agree with that. Y'all remember just a year ago, Brian Johnson was like a head coach, like hot name. He was the Ben Johnson last year. So I think that, and that team still won 12. Was it 12 games? 12 games. Like 11 or 12 games last year, and they were still like top 10 in everything. So it's just, we just get focused on that last, whatever it was, 5-6 games, and so I think it was actually very strategic for Adam and Dan Quinn to put that AHC title on Brian, because they know he's good. They know he's a football mind. He's worked with everybody, man. Dak, he's worked with, obviously up there in Philly. I mean, he is definitely one of the rising stars in the NFL. So to make him an assistant head coach, pass game coordinator is just smart. Worst case, he stays here, and he just continues to be a part of this team. And for him, best case would be to go ahead and get a coach again. We get a comp pick, boom, win-win. So, and I'm actually one of the fans that, like, I support, coaches moving on, like, go do your thing, bro. Like I support that. I don't really care about this discontinuity and all that stuff. Nah, man, go do your thing. You have a short window. I love Joe Whitt's conference, and he talked a little bit about that. He wanted to be a coordinator for a long time. Now he wants to be a head coach at some point. I support that, man. So if Dan Quinn's thinking like that, Adam's thinking like that on the way to winning, that's fantastic. So I support that.
I mean, I forget who I was telling this before. I don't remember if it was on here we were talking about or on Twitter, but if you are a good team, teams are going to want your coaches. Like that's a good thing. You want people to want your good thing. You want people to want your coaches. But as long as there's a line of succession, like there's a plan to follow, there's no problem. When you look at this staff, while still practicing my plan of being as calm as possible, but this is a very good staff, and you can see this staff is filled with people. Oh, this dude can step up and be a DC, or he can step up. Like, this is full of coaches that that succession plan is there. I don't know what the actual plan is, but you can see, we have several former head coaches and coordinators who are doing position coaches. Like, listen, we're gonna be just fine. If we are good enough that somebody wants to come next year and get the plucking coaches off our staff, that's a good problem to have.
It's a great problem.
Yeah, that just shows, the lessons that Dan Quinn had learned from his very first opportunity as head coach. He didn't have that proper succession plan after a Kyle Shanahan left and became head coach of the 49ers. So you're seeing the fruits being repaid by having highly qualified people who have experience and have some success, including like two guys that are head coaches, and you have a young guy who is considered around league circles an up and coming candidate to be a head coach, and a good opportunity to not only learn under Dan Quinn and learn how to function and how to work as a head guy someday, but having Anthony Lynn in his corner, having Kliff Kingsbury, who went through trials and tribulations in his time in Arizona, to teach him some of the things and do's and don'ts of being a head coach someday. So I think this is a good succession plan eventually, and I also think this is a good plan forward for a well-organized squadron so far.
Yeah, I agree. What's up, Chuck? This may be your first time commenting, so we do definitely appreciate you joining, commenting, come back. Please like, subscribe. Everyone that's in the chat, please hit those like buttons. Get that algorithm working. I love the coaching hires. I hope it translates to free agents and players we have now. And I want to put a pin in that because I want to. We got so much. Like, I keep texting them. We're gonna take a couple weeks off. Y'all come back in a couple weeks. I don't really get no responses. So I just don't think they want to take a break. I just don't think they want to take a break. So I think we're gonna talk about it. I think we just gonna because like I was listening to someone like this is probably one of the most important off seasons of this franchise for everything that's going on, and like we probably need to like be in it every possible minute of it. But
for all the hype that was their last off season, like you can legitimately make the argument like this off season is like the first real off season of the new regime because they actually have an opportunity to do their thing. And I mean, we see the fruits of labor already paying off a little bit as far as building the staff, hiring coaches, all of that.
Yeah, for sure. So Chuck, we definitely I'm gonna come back to your question, but yeah, man, like go ahead, follow us, subscribe. If anybody can drop it in the comment or you just hit the page, should be able to see at the bottom right of your screen. It's a little logo. You can hit that to subscribe. But let me throw this in there real quick. This is very interesting. Talking about coaches wanting to come here.
Get to hire people.
Y'all can hear it,
You
right?
got to interview people. This has been a very interesting hiring cycle. For sure. And at one point I was like, oh, okay. The Raiders got Kliff Kingsbury. That is gonna be their offensive coordinator. Then I go to sleep and I wake up and I'm like, well, they ain't got Kliff no more. How does news just break before certain conversations are had? Or how does that whole process work? For you, it has to be difficult as well because you are working to build the staff. You're having to ask, can you speak to certain coaches? But you feel like you've got one piece and now all of a sudden that piece goes away.
Yeah, well, National Football League, NFL, not for long. So you're right. I thought we had a guy, but not for long. Hold on. So you put pen to paper, man. That's the one thing I learned. No different than that's in free agency, right?
Gotcha.
Teams are recruiting, new things are going on. Listen, Mac Johnson pretty good. I guess I think he can still dish it out a little bit. If I'm losing the Magic, I'm okay with that, right? And then at the end of the day, listen, man, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. That's fine. It's pretty good. I guess he can still dish it out a little bit. If I'm losing the Magic, I'm okay with that. I think he can still dish it out a little bit. If I'm losing the Magic, I'm okay with that, right? I think he can still dish it out a little bit. If I'm losing the Magic, I'm okay.
Ceelo.
We back up. we back up, man. Hey, I did not see that coming. If y'all remember, we were talking to what's my man out of UCLA, Chip Kelly, and I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of a moderately excited about that one because I felt like Chip's offense was, as an offense, coordinator type role would have been interesting. And then Kliff come out of nowhere, back out of Oakland. I'm like, when does that ever happen in the last 30 years here in Washington? We are back up.
We are, man. Hey, Janet say we back up. Wayne says exciting. We haven't ever had the coaching staff and experience that we have now. Magic still has it. And let's go to Kliff explanation of what happened. Nightwing.
But obviously a historic franchise, incredible fan base, the opportunity to work with Adam, Peter, Dan Quinn, who I've always had a ton of respect with, and then the ownership group, what they're trying to do, their vision. It's exciting times. I've heard great things about the DMV, so it's an honor to be here.
So they specific, like 3 people specifically asked them about that situation back to back. I refuse to get into details about that or into specifics. He said it like 3 straight times.
We back up.
The DC media.
DC media, man. DC media.
I mean, it's a good, it's a good question, but I don't know. You need to answer ask him more than one time.
I mean, like once he came off the gate and was like, I don't want to, I don't want to go into detail about that. I don't want to talk about it. Like, I'm here. And then they proceeded to ask him the same question 2 more different ways. Like, come on, bro. I get it.
To answer your question real quick, Chuck, like we're definitely gonna get into that. Probably next week we need to start looking at our team for sure. But one of the big things with players is coaching, structure, all of those things, especially if you're not looking to overpay. If you're not looking to overpay, there's some things that are important for you not to have to do that. And the facilities are still bad. So I'm wondering, like, and Ceelo, you probably can answer this a little better than me. Is it beneficial to renovate the facilities before you build a new facilities or training facilities, or if they stay in Ashburn? Do you think it benefits the team? Because hey, we're gonna be there for like what, the next 7 years, maybe. I mean, the stadium at least. But I think if anything, Breeze, like the training facility will be done before the stadium. I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not 100% sure on the logistics and the details of it. I mean, maybe Ceelo or somebody else may know more like details about that. But if just thinking, like they already own for the sake of what do they call the park now? Just the park. Commander's Park. So like they already own that land essentially. Like they can do something to that, at least renovate what's inside, modernize some of the equipment and stuff like that inside. In the meantime, like you don't want to wait, like even if they get like land to build a completely new facility, you still talking about what, probably 2 or 3 years minimum before it's actually built and operational. Like you still have to operate a football team and try to build a football team in that time. Like I would argue that by the time players are back in the building, like for OTAs and like stuff like at post draft, I would assume, like really in like doing stuff, I would assume that they're probably already upgrading some of that stuff in there. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure Josh has a plan. He already mentioned there was an interview. Oh, you guys saw the little expose he did with Chuck. I think it was Chick Hernandez, and talked about all the different opportunities. My prediction was that they're going to announce a location this offseason. That's my prediction.
I don't think we could take that.
just a location like, hey, DC 1 or Virginia 1, whatever. Like I feel like
because he narrowed it down to 3 places. He says so it's one place in each.
Right.
Yeah.
I think at some point this offseason, I would not be surprised if they decide to say this is the direction we're going and start working towards that. So all that to say is I don't think you can do much right with the existing infrastructure, in Ashburn. They're in between. They got business operations and FedEx. They got moving over there to the University of Maryland, College Park. They got stuff going on in Ashburn. I think they probably just going to focus on Ashburn as it is. I don't think Ashburn is as bad as we make it sound. I just don't think it's comparable to like a, the AT&T Stadium and the folks out there in LA. But was it that bad?
I've been inside of Commanders Park and like compared to like some of the college facilities that I've been to, like, and you gotta think, right? Like from a lot of these, especially like SEC and Big Ten type guys that have these glorious college facilities, like these are still fairly young dudes by the time that they're free agents, like getting to choose their team. And they go from, just for the sake of conversation, Alabama or LSU, they go from that to, like Jaden Daniels, for example. What is Jaden Daniels going to think when he comes from that LSU facility and he takes a visit to the Commanders? Granted, this draft pick is a little bit different, but he sees that it's night and day. I mean, I haven't been in. It's been a few years before COVID. It's before COVID the last time I was in there, but I was certainly hoping I've updated since then. But like when I was in there, it was just me looking at, oh yeah, they can do better than this. Like, this is for real. Like, outside of having branding everywhere,
like where all those woods are, like they own all that. Like they own all that.
It's plenty of space.
They got plenty of space.
Like don't get me wrong. While it's cool to go back there,
to move. Like y'all don't think it'd be hard for them to move headquarters from Ashburn?
I mean, I think you have to have like to move.
Yeah, because I know we got some good places and some nice mansions out in the Bowie area, and you got some stuff out there. They got some real nice houses if you know where to go.
Oh, you mean just move out the area completely?
That's headquarters. So they've been talking about moving. Headquarters includes the training facility.
Right.
Yeah. My prediction this entire time was going to be wherever they choose, both practice, headquarters, business operation, practice, and then actual game day experience will be in the same location or very close. So in a perfect world, let's say for example, they choose Landover, they can do everything right there. And logistically speaking, you got to transition over. It'll take some time. They're not going to day one they're going to go from Ashburn to Landover. I think it'll take time, over a period of time. I think it'll be fine. It's a different experience. So if you're used to living, breathing Ashburn air, and then you go to Landover, PG County,
it's a difference, man.
It's going to be a little bit of an adjustment.
Yeah,
so, man. I mean,
it is, man. Like they might still drive the practice. They can be late in the mud.
I think for their sake, I think to an extent they do somewhat like the idea of practicing in a different area where they play because of the whole DMV thing. They want to say that in some form or fashion we represent everybody. So at the very like right now, all of them do nothing in DC, but it's like, okay, we play in Maryland, we practice in Virginia, we still share the net. We still use the name at the very least of Washington. Like we represent the entire area. We're spread throughout the area. I think to a certain extent they do like that. But like Ashburn is out there to an extent. Like that's like,
they got the metro out there now. So
I mean, they got
the
like
metro, then they got the doing the buses.
But you don't want to move much further south than where you already are.
No,
I only mentioned the combined. I think that's the ideal situation because that's what teams are doing now. Like look at Dallas, you look at the Rams, you look at the Chargers. Like everyone has everything. Like these complexes are impressive, And so I think that's their ideal state. But it's going to be a transition period. To answer your question, Deuce, though, I think it was Ms. Janet on there earlier. I wouldn't be surprised. They put some money. They're gonna put some money in Commanders Park, just to make it a little bit more attractive to, like you said, to some free agents and even draft picks to be like NFL quality. I just don't expect it to be like a massive upgrade, because the dollars you put in there, is that going to be worth the payback? Maybe not. So I'm curious to see. And then you still got Jason Wright in there. He's doing his thing. So you never know. You can get somebody to sponsor it. Maybe there's so many options they can do. It's just embarrassing that for 30 years, or maybe a little less than that, they haven't figured out that that's like literally one of the more discriminators that you could have outside of paying a free agent, a discriminator for actually someone wanting to come here and play. Okay, I got a training facility, number one. I got equipment. I got staff. Blah 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 blah. It's crazy to think about that, but I think Josh understands the importance of that.
Yeah, it's gonna be definitely something, man, to see, because like Wayne, what makes the most money year round. I like Ashburn. If they decide to keep it there, I think you could put some stores out there. But I think the bulk of that, because it's a mall out that way, not too far from Ashburn. And I don't think that's a mall that attracts a lot of people. But now they have Metro that comes over out there, so
But it's
remember
still,
Largo, right, Breeze? So you gotta be careful with the metros, man.
how far is that Ashburn stop from like
It's not
Commanders
far.
Park?
I think it's called Ashburn, right?
Yeah,
I know it's definitely called Ashburn.
Yeah, I
I
think it's
just
like
don't.
20 minutes. Or something.
I mean, I'm a little, that's kind of my business a little bit. Everything out there is server farms. It's just,
man, what?
it's nothing. Like, I feel like that's not,
Ideal.
Commanders is such a big thing. It just,
Yeah.
it's nothing out there. You see what I'm saying? I don't know.
What about just for practice? What about Monday? Like you can still have, like you can have your stadium where you're going to have it. Like, let's say you're back in Landover. You have your stadium and you have the shops. Like, you still have all that stuff there. That's just going to be there. But then they practice and they live a little far away. Because, bro, go ahead and put them players. Go ahead and put them players. People find out where they live at.
I don't see I don't see the facility. If they do like a full facility, like Ceelo's talking about, I don't see it coming back to DC.
Yeah, I mean, DC is just so small.
Yeah, man.
It's that's just such a,
and it's expensive.
But there's been ideas where they may have the stadium in DC, the practice facility in Landover, which that's not too far away. I think, and then I have no idea what they're gonna do. I have absolutely no idea what they're gonna
do. I just know, players tend to want to live closer to the practice facility than they do the stadium, because you're there more often.
I mean, they're doing that now.
Makes sense. That's what they're doing today. Yeah, makes sense.
They have more privacy. They got those streets with no light.
Like 98% of the roster, 99% of the roster and staff probably lives in Virginia.
Yeah.
What do you? Who do you? Yeah, I wonder who even lives in DC or Maryland.
I think it's a few that live in Maryland, but
that's interesting.
I don't know, man. It ain't PG County, Maryland. I'll tell you that. But I know, like, John Wall, when he first came, he lived out in what's that, Bowie out 301 when they got those mansions.
Like Bowie up in Marlboro.
Like they is some
White
huge
House Road.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, like all out there, all them super huge houses out there.
Them joints old too, though. Like, you can still build up Ashburn. They still got space where they still building. All right, y'all. Let's look at these coaches real quick. Let's see if they made the changes on here yet.
On the website. I think they did.
All right, let's see. Let's see what we got. Okay, of course we got Quinn, Kingsbury, Whitt, Izzo. We talked about them. All right, so coaching chief of staff. Uh, she was highly regarded from Raheem Ward in his press conference. We talked about her. We took her from them. That's something. Because he was expecting her to be there. Because he talked her up a lot in his press conference. So she's the coaching chief of staff. I'm thinking that's like high end secretary of some sort. Not maybe. I'm trying to think like what would that role entail?
I don't know, man. The way Raheem was talking about her, she was way more than a secretary. She
Mhm.
was
Regarded.
she was highly regarded as part of changing their culture. So she must be, a lot to do with just kind of engagement, like player engagement, making sure they're taken care of, maybe, connecting them with the coaching staff and what they're trying to accomplish. I think she's way more than just an assistant.
I
The way
think
that Raheem was talking about her.
I think she's gonna be outside of X's and O's. She may be the direct contact for the coaches.
Could be.
Like
Could be.
I have a player that's having issues with this, or it seems like her like you said, the way Raheem was talking, it seems like she's she's gonna be heavy, like have a heavy impact over this team on the football side. So it's
Yeah.
gonna be very interesting to see what her role is. And there was someone else I saw looked like kind of like a administrative. There it is. Player development. What is that, Breeze?
Weird. Player development
Yeah, this the
coach.
dude that played in the replacements. And he played in the replacements and
Any given Sunday.
yeah, any given Sunday. So I'm thinking this is the dude that probably makes sure the players, like the rookies, go to the rookie meetings, NFL rookie meetings, or like the contact person to make sure that they, talk to people about their finances and, the life as an NFL player, do's and don'ts. The person they reach out to if they get a traffic light or get a speeding ticket or something like that. This is probably the guy that they probably reach out to. What y'all think?
Jamin Davis, he getting nervous.
Yeah. That's probably the first foul he got when he got there. This is coming up in next month. There you go. George Banco, that's the guy from Alabama. That's quality control. And they mentioned the quality control in the interview today. Quality control. Who else? Was it another one? Here you go. He was here last year. Offensive quality control guy, Shane Toub.
Yep.
So defense, offense. So when Whitt was talking, if you all remember, he was saying that the quality control coaches are going to be responsible for making sure the younger coaches understand the concepts, the schemes, making sure they're caught up to be a sounding board when, if some rookies might not want to speak out during meetings when the vets are around or, don't want to be embarrassed or not understanding something that was said during a meeting. Those are going to be the guys that work directly with the younger coaches.
Okay.
That's who Banco and
confidence coordinator.
Shane. He said confidence coordinator. Who else in here? Y'all kind of they kept Bobby. This is one of the guys we was like maybe keep him.
Upgrade.
I think the receiver group, the receiver room really wanted him back. So.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I thought Willie Gay was a great pickup.
Yeah, William Gay.
He's not even on here.
Yeah, he up there. He just passed.
He's right next to Sarah.
Sarah.
Defensive backs. Yeah. I missed that one.
Yeah, that's a
A
good
lot
get.
of some of them was like some of them like where we at right now towards the bottom weren't like announced, but there's some sneaky pickups on the staff, man.
Yeah, buddy.
I like that.
They got a real good coaching staff, bro. Like
they got a lot of former players, a lot of young, like recently.
Is this the Andre Coleman?
What do you mean, V?
Number 99. What is his name? Andre Coleman?
Andre Carter.
Yeah.
No, you think about Carter.
Oh, Monty Coleman and Andre Carter. My bad.
Yeah.
I mixed the players up. We know Sharif Floyd. You know he played ball. All right, so let's talk about this real quick. Assistant quarterbacks coach, Pritchard, quarterbacks coach.
Didn't David Blau? Didn't he play like last season?
Yeah, played for the Lions, and I think he played for Cardinals too.
There's a clear emphasis on the quarterback position, dog.
Right. So we
got 4 former quarterbacks on staff?
Is there a world?
Yep.
Where Kliff is like, let me see what Sam Howell got.
Yes. Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
Because I
Chuck said, "Wake up, DT." That's just DT, huh?
Yeah, that's
not asleep.
He always looked like he's asleep.
DT been online for like the last 6 hours or something, bro.
We had like 4 shows. Janice said Ken Norton stood out.
What would it? I do think there's a world where that scenario exists, but what would it take for him to do that? Like
a trade back to 10, 12?
No, I don't think it would be the only way, in my opinion, obviously, but the only way I see Sam becoming, QB1 is if even they can still draft a quarterback at 2 or top 10. But the dude sucks, or he ain't ready. They get Jaden in the building. They're like,
so you think it's no? So you're under the pressure. They still go quarterback early, but Sam beats him out.
To me, that's the only. I honestly don't think they're going to go into the offseason, look at the tape. Look at the quarterbacks, because you got to do if you're doing your job, you're going to look at everything equally. You're going to say, is Jaden, Caleb, Bo Nix, Drake May, are they as good, or can they be as good as a Sam Howell is today? And if you can, they all how do you rate all those guys on the same playing field? And if they come out and then they rank them and they say, Sam keep cracking the top 5. Then they may either convince themselves that these quarterbacks ain't all that they cracked up to be, or we still go quarterback, but they have a competition, something like that. That's what I can see happening. And Sam just kills it. Kills it.
I think what doubly hurts Sam is the fact that we have the second pick, and there are 3 quarterbacks that can legitimately be top 3 picks. It's like you're in position if the entire football world agrees that number 13 is the best pick in the he's number 1, right? Then you have, without having to give up anything, you have your selection of the very next best player in the draft, who may very well be a quarterback, and you might just need one. So it's like Sam showed flashes. He wasn't amazing, but he showed flashes. But he also showed that he might just be average at best. At best, and you're sitting there at number 2, and you have a I don't even remember their pro comps right now, but you have, let's for the sake of conversation, Drake May and Jaden Daniels both sitting right there. It's like if we pass on either one on both of these quarterbacks, they both turn out to be something, and we roll with Sam and he's not good. It's the first leg of our coaching run is tied to Sam Howell. No matter what we do, we might draft Marvin Harrison Jr., but if we got to depend on Sam Howell to get him the ball and Sam ain't good, like
that's why I say to your point, I have very little doubt they will not draft a quarterback. That's why I say the only way I can see Sam actually making his way to QB1 is if injury or there's just a genuinely open competition and Sam is like, wow, this guy went, he just blowing you away. Kind of like, I mean, this is a lesser example, but kind of like Seattle when they picked up Matt Flynn in free agency, they drafted, Russell Wilson in the 4th round. They expected Matt Flynn to be the starter, and then they just were blown up. You know what I mean? So like you may have a situation where that happens, but to your point, I don't think there's no question they're going quarterback. It's just about it. Now, what did you do at that point? OTAs, mini camp, training camp, everyone's balling, and they looking at Sam like, who is this dude? I mean, he's already an air raid quarterback, blah, 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 blah. So to me, that's the only way. And Kliff may even be like, man, this guy is interesting, but he can't really run. Like you said, you can't go with Sam given all his talent in front of you for, essentially for free. So I don't see them not picking quarterback. I just think there's other scenarios that have to happen for Sam to play. They're not gonna bet on Sam playing.
So if they draft a quarter, if they let's say they pick, who cares? Whatever quarterback they pick. If Sam Howell beats him out,
you got to bet.
What does that say about?
Hey man,
what does that say about?
Y'all up here talking all this, that, raise the bar, man. Y'all go ahead.
Raise the standard. Raise the bar.
Raise the standard.
Raise the standard.
DT said it's over. There's no more Sam talk.
DT talking about Sam Howell and stuff, bro. Like, look, I love Sam, but more likely, he's probably a backup. Ain't gonna kill him. We're gonna get a quarterback. Let's go ahead. He gonna watch all 22. He's more qualified to watch 500 hours. He might watch 10,000 hours of film. He gonna watch all 21 interceptions.
21 interceptions.
Let's go ahead and stop talking about this now. Raise the bar.
DT said I'm done.
Hey DT.
Look, hey Chuck, I woke up now, man.
How many kids have you threatened with that bat before, DT?
Hey, y'all remember Joe Clark and Lean on Me?
Hey, look, they threatened themselves. They had 3 fights today.
You remember Joe Clark, Lean on Me?
He called me Batman.
They call me Batman.
I just can't see it, like I can't see it, man. Like, so what's very interesting is
Auntie, I don't see the latter part of that statement happening, Auntie.
Kliff, he said he just got through the 3rd game last year. So he's about to hit that stretch when Sam looked like the one.
Yeah, buddy.
That stretch when Sam looked like the one. So we gonna see. So if they did that press conference like after he got through game 8, I don't know, he might have been talking some crazy stuff.
I just think it's fun. I mean, and that's another thing. No one talk. Like I said it earlier today in the space, but like Kliff did not go off on any of these players. He was like, how EB or even Dan Quinn, he's like, oh yeah, y'all got Terry McLaurin and
maybe because they was there though.
Kliff was like
they wasn't there today.
And Kliff was like, I'm watching the tape. I don't know these dudes.
Dang, that is true. Them boys was at EB press conference.
I mean, even Quinn, he said wide receivers, D tackles. That's all he said. While he was detoxing.
To be fair, well, never mind. That's not true. That's not true. That's not
Raise
true.
the bar, man. Raise the bar.
I mean, so Breeze, are you? You think bro? Like we can't even focus on one coach because we gonna be here all night. Like we got coaches, bro.
Yeah.
Like
Like
we don't
Anthony Lynn is
have
our running
too
back
many.
coach.
Like we
Like
don't have no interns, no first time,
I do
2 year
notice that there's no
assistant.
assistant wide receiver coach yet. I still do notice that.
Oh yeah,
You
hey
know,
man, let's get you in there.
I'm available.
Go
You know.
to they got an email somewhere.
Our former running back coach actually told me a few ways I can get plugged in. Um, Might have to reach back out to her, although she's no longer employed by the team. But
Yeah, she got to focus on herself right now. I think.
I mean, you know, I ain't gonna
But yeah,
talk
man, we
about
got some hitters, man. So all right, so we got David Blow,
Oh,
David Blah. How you pronounce him?
I think
Blah,
it's Blau.
Blau.
I think it's Blau.
Yeah.
All right, we got David Blau. We got
Blau.
Pritchard. You got Brian Robbins. I mean, you got
Brian
Brian
Johnson,
Johnson.
Kliff
You
Kingsbury.
got Kliff Kingsbury.
You gonna talk about Bobby?
So is that too many cooks, man?
Mm-mm.
I don't think so either. I think
It's only
everyone.
as long as everybody has a defined role and they know what that role is, and I don't think Dan Quinn will have any problem enforcing those roles and making sure that there's a clear. I think that's part of why they made it clear what Brian Johnson's role was.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you have a specific job and role here, and in the words of The Rock, know your role. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But
don't.
very interesting because they all talked about everyone coming together on both sides, respectively, about bringing in everyone's knowledge or whatever, bringing it all in. But at the same time, as a coordinator, and you're going to be the play caller, I got my own playbook. But Kliff made it. He was like, "Don't put that air up." What do you think about that, DT? He said, "Don't put that air raid offense on me because we're going to run the ball. We're going to do play action. We're going to do this. We're going to bring everything together." Like he ain't want that tag. He said, "Don't put that tag on me."
Well, I mean, I think for him saying that, I think it's kind of like coaches speak in a sense. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think he wants to be just labeled as just a pure air raid guy. I mean, he literally came to the NFL and adapted his offense to the style of play, and he showed that he's able to run the ball because James Conner, when as soon as they acquired him, he had a ridiculous year. 17 total touchdowns, 50 of those were rush on the ground. And Kyler Murray was able to make plays with his legs and feet, and they were able to have some good offenses, but they also had some bad times as well. So I don't think he wants to be just defined as a pure air raid guy where they're just having uh, five wide every single down and whatsoever. I think he has shown he is able to adapt. And with the biggest thing that he said that I don't think nobody had kind of peeped, he said that year with Lincoln Riley really taught him something. He laid back, he kept his eyes on, the young players. And Lincoln Riley is one of the most decorated offensive minds in college football. So hey, I'm not gonna be shocked. He got some tricks up his sleeves being up there. I know USC kind of have a down year in production stuff, but a lot of the concepts they run, with when they had Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, and even Caleb Williams, that might be into play with his offense and try to add some wrinkles into there, especially with Brian Johnson and Anthony Lynn to help marriage the passing game and the running game together.
Who is Darren Haynes? DT. I mean, Mitty.
He always called me Darren Haynes.
Oh, that's he saw.
You used to do the sports for Channel 9.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Get him on
He
here.
over in LA now.
Yeah, he on the intro. He gave me. I'm gonna talk about that later. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think there'll be too many cooks in the kitchen, man. I also think that, and like, I think that was good. DT, you asked that question to Heavy about Lynn helping out, like with the O line part. That's why I'm not too concerned about that hire, with the O line coach. And if you notice, Kingsbury kind of added a little more. Like, we talked to people that we respect around the league. So did Dan about that hire. Like, he specifically said that about the O line coach. What's his name?
Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby
OG
Johnson.
Bobby Johnson.
Bobby
Johnson.
Johnson.
Yeah, OG Bobby Johnson. And then you got Anthony Lynn there. Like, he's going to be there. Brian Johnson, you got him there, pass blocking and all that. So, being the passing game coordinator, run game coordinator. So, I think they're going to have input on those O linemen too. That's why I'm not too worried about the O line coach.
But you know what, too, Deuce? In that point, I think when it comes to a lot of about football and coaches, a lot of people will try to put them scars of what they have recently on the coaches. So you're going to hear Giants fans talk about how bad Bobby Johnson is. But the Giants been trying to rebuild their O-line for like the longest time.
Yeah.
Like, they've been having O-line problems like for a while now. So who's to say all that is on him? And plus, if you're going to discredit him, there has to be still some credit to him because Andrew Thomas didn't become all-pro until he got there.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Mitty, jump on that YouTube real quick, man. Work that algorithm.
They went through a lot of the same things we went through years ago. I mean, they've been dealing with injuries for I feel like forever.
They had guys playing tackle playing center.
They've been shuffling. I don't know.
And they still lost.
That's true. Who was it? Who did we get from them that we turned into a guard?
Eric Flowers.
Eric Flowers.
Eric Flowers.
See, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, okay. I mean, he not elite, man. We're not gonna talk about that though.
He was good here,
but he came here, killed it, went to Miami, got a big contract. I mean, it worked out for him.
He was solid for us, and I know we got Gates, and we
that don't count.
He just a spark plug in terms of energy, but in terms of football playing,
he be fighting at the wrong time though. He can't even fight right.
He the mascot.
He can't even fight right.
Yeah, he not.
I just think if you get him his pieces that he will require, I think it'll work. Plus, I don't think our O-line is as bad as what people think it is. Still to this day, we need talent and some depth, but I don't think it's as bad as the 65 sacks we giving up.
65 sacks is crazy.
The fact that it was on pace to be a lot worse than that is even worse.
I think the John Pagano is a sneaky good hire.
I was listening to another pod, and the guy, one of the originators of the air raid offense, Hal Mum. I don't know if I've ever heard of him, but real close to Kliff, and he was basically saying he doesn't think Kliff was allowed to bring on all his guys in Arizona as well. It's one of the reasons that it wasn't what it should have been. He was limited to some of his staff. So it sounds like in this experience, Kliff is very he's bringing in whoever he wants,
Yeah.
As long as you let him do that, bro, I'm willing to give it a try. Obviously, we ain't got no choice, but I'm looking forward to seeing him do his thing.
And that's the thing. Like, when you see hires like this, you be like, man, this seems like all number ones, like all number one choices. Like, this is who if like Peters is like, who do you want? Right now, who you want? This is who I want. Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, it sounds like. I just like the diversity, man. I just like how you got guys from
all over
the league. You got guys from college. you got guys everywhere, like from all over the league. That's just impressive to me.
I mean, I actually, I think it was Joe Whitt that said it in his press conference. But he was like, we're not trying to rebuild the Cowboys culture or bring the Cowboys culture here. Like, we bought coaches that align with our vision, that align vision thing again. We bought coaches that align with what we want to do from everywhere else, so that we can hear ideas and voices from all over the place and build our own culture. And I'm like,
Commander,
man, Joe was preaching, bro.
Yeah,
He
man.
was
the Commander
preaching.
was crazy.
Listen,
was cooking,
Joe Whitt for president.
He was cooking for sure. He was like, what's your name? What's your name?
Yo, every time somebody started talking, man, it was, I'm sorry, who are you? What's your name again?
Who are you? What's your name?
Okay.
Yeah. I like Joe a lot.
Yeah.
He says the X-Men. Nah, bro. Y'all remember Justice League Unlimited when you start seeing all the other superheroes, bro?
That's coming out of nowhere.
We seeing all the coaching staffs, yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, we didn't even like. Let me hold on. Let's look at.
We ain't even talking about Ken. We ain't talking about Ken Norton, bro. Hey, look, we got a real linebacker coach, yo.
That's what I'm saying. We didn't talk about him yet. Like,
we got a real linebacker coach. He gonna come in here and coach. Oh my god, I'm so happy.
We got Josh Harris. Look. People mad at this. Look, he's still right there. Look. They mad at that.
OG Lance.
Hey, here we go.
Lance is hilarious.
Lance without the drugs.
Adam Peters, Lance Newmark, which is the one of the top guys over there with Detroit. They say he was very influential in last season's draft.
Yep.
So
they kept Rod Rodgers.
Yep, they kept Rod Rodgers. I think he's the cap guy too. I think he's the money guy. Martin Mayhew, they move him to advisors. That's the best friend role. Like, if we looking for any, that's one right there. Like, that's the best friend role. But it seems like they work really well together in San Fran too.
And I want to say Martin has to know Lance, because Martin was in, Detroit. Lance been in Detroit for like 28 years.
For real?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Since the 1990s.
Yeah. And Martin obviously was there for a long time. He was a GM.
He just got assistant general manager.
He was a scout.
I hope he paid.
Henry, he been through trials and tribulations. That's
what was say. He been through some stuff, bro. He
look like the rebuild. Like, he know what it
analysis.
He know what it takes.
Hey, but
this dude gonna be the MVP. This dude gonna have major input. He just look at him. He look like it.
Hey, but I think they said Hurney he's still gonna be here, but after this he might,
he ain't on this third tier.
He ain't on the website.
He on the website.
Hold on, let's go down again. Let's see if he on this tier.
They took Cuz off the website.
That was Ron's boy, wasn't it?
That's the HR person, probably. Andrew's still there. Craig Fisher. They could still be. I don't really remember them though. Oh, this was Julie's at one point.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Julie was like a VP at one point.
Was she communication or media? I don't know. Look at him, senior advisor, team president. Look at him. All right, that's
a best role right there.
Yeah.
There's Nicole, Tim, Anthony,
my dog around me.
Tina, Terry, John. Oh, here we go. Maybe he's not player person.
There he goes.
Yeah. After this, he's going to go.
Eric Stokes staying. Chris Polian staying. Grumble, he's still here.
Director of Pro Personnel? Hold on now.
Wait. Wasn't Stokes the one who wanted he wanted Forbes over Gonzalez?
Yeah, I think Stokes was the one.
Here we go.
But player personnel is free agency though.
Yeah, free agency. That's what I love.
So maybe they moved them.
Hey, you need to go ahead and focus on.
He's just a senior director, and Chris Pony is director, so he probably just because they ain't trying to pay him for nothing type thing.
Hey, is Chris related to Bill?
Yep.
Holding?
Yeah, that's Bill's son,
Oh,
nephew or something. Yeah, they hired him last year, right?
No, I think they hired him in 2021.
Okay.
Oh, he been for a little while. Okay.
So that's why I'm like, yo, our free agency ain't been. Know what I'm saying? Ain't been cooking.
But some of these people might, most of these people under here, a lot of these people might be gone come June.
Yeah, I agree with that. I can see that. I mean, I ain't trying to, people lose
got
their jobs, but
we got you. Mm-hmm.
It's too late to change it now.
Yeah, you gotta get through this. And this is he's a Bobby Beathard descendant.
Oh,
right here.
It's good to have them last names.
David Whittington, Barrington.
Is somebody else up here we know?
College scout.
Roger Terry.
I need to learn these faces. What is this? Blessed though. What is that?
That might be the international scouting.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
He probably got the best job.
Yep. Brian Foster.
Football analytics.
I think that's going to be a bigger organization as you go forward.
Oh, Blacken's still there.
Oh,
Alexis.
2 more letters. I was like, that's
Let me chill.
folks.
What's up, Bree?
I have family. Oh, Bill Bellamy, brother.
Engelhardt still there.
Oh yeah.
Engelhardt got fired. Oh no. I'm sorry, wrong person.
Vermillion?
How he still on the junior?
That might be the son.
Equipment. Look at all these people. Video. This is what Ron folks was. All his folks was here. They all gone.
I ain't beating that dead horse no more, man.
Man, they all gone, man.
On socials, Facebook.
Julie ain't even on here. Julie must don't work for the team no more. Oh, maybe she's over something else. Media or something. Because they don't have that on here. Oh, hold on. These are all the owners. No. Maybe on air talent. Here you go. She's on air talent now.
Oh yeah, okay, I see.
Hold on, they didn't even show old boy. Where old boy at? They be doing the dude. What's the dude's name?
The young dude.
Yeah, the young guy. They even got him up there, man.
He was like the host of the little command.
Oh, the light skinned dude that be
yeah. You can tell he's from the DMV.
Man, listen, man. One of us can do that job, respectfully.
I know it. I gotta talk to y'all about mic'd up too. Well, there you go. Oh, shucks. Let me see what they talking about. BF Row, Riri. Look at her scroll up at the same time. Look at this. Stop it.
Raise the bar.
All right, man. Got anything, Breeze?
No, I need a nap.
Who you telling?
Hey, when you going to that NASCAR event in Atlanta?
Next Sunday.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
When
going
you
to
gonna be? Are
Kentucky.
you going out for the weekend?
I'm going to Kentucky, then I'm going to Atlanta.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What you got, DT?
I ain't got nothing, man. I'm excited for the new coaching staff. I'm excited for the new league year to start. I can't wait for free agency, bro. I can't wait for people who want to be here for Washington.
Ceelo.
Hey man, let's get it. I'm ready for free agency, man.
I thought you had a turtleneck on. At first, I was like,
Yeah, all y'all need to go to sleep.
Bro,
I'm
listen,
tired as a mug. It's
I'm
like,
not
all y'all
lying
need to go to
about
sleep.
mine though. I'm not lying about mine, bro. I told you I'm dead tired, bro. Like I'm off like I just slept like 3 hours in the last 2.5 days, bro. I'm tired.
oh,
Go
man.
to sleep. That boy
Hey,
talking
man.
about.
Oh man, Breeze, take us home, Breeze, man. Take us home.
I don't remember, bro. Oh, this is the On the Huddle podcast brought to you by Redzone DC Media. Remember, do it because you love it, not because it loves you. One beat, one sound, one heart, one love. Appreciate y'all.